Hello and welcome to yet another Golden Hour episode. Hopefully you guys are doing fantastic and enjoying your day. We are bringing these back Monday through Friday. They will be posted 11 p.m. Eastern time at night, so you guys can probably rock out, listen to these at night, early morning, whenever you have an opportunity to do so. This has been a very highly requested podcast that I should bring back, and I put it off to the side for a long time, but the more I did, the more people just kept asking to bringing it back. And as a content creator, when you see people passionate about wanting something that you are doing back, at some point you shove it to the side enough, but the support of people wanting it back and back and back, at some point you're just going to give in and you're going to say to yourself, these people really want this back. So you got to give the people what it is they want. So we got a lot of things to talk about, a lot of things to discuss, a lot of things to dissect and give my thoughts and opinions on. Now, I will be having at certain times guests and certain people of different communities, not necessarily gaming communities. You know, I really want to talk to a lot of different people. At some point, I would love to be able to talk to like MMA fighters, police officers, people in the battle rap community, as well as, you know, gaming, because this is where my channel is built around. So we'll definitely have plenty of people from different other gaming genres and trying to get some pro players in, and people from the 2K community, Madden community, MLB, Street Fighter, and whatnot. Just try to engage as much as possible. Talk about as much as possible, and also not just gaming related or just life events or what's going on in the real world. So today we're going to start off with the biggest catfish possibly in the Madden community of all time. Now, for those of you who see my video about a week ago, we had somebody named Ivy Skye go on ahead and pretty much catfish the community with pictures of a very gorgeous female who wanted to be quote-unquote an E8 game changer. And a lot of people, not just regular people of the community, not just gamers, not just content creators, this catfish account is followed by many professional athletes. Let's reiterate that. Let's say that again. She is followed by many professional athletes. Now, Ryan did some digging and found a video. Link to that video will be in the description if you want to go on ahead and check that out, where he claims he has 100% proof that this person is indeed a catfish. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with the term catfish, it came about from a TV series on MTV. And catfishing is just when you're pretending to be an online persona, a complete fake, somebody who's not really you. You're using fake pictures, fake profiles. You're pretty much, you got this propaganda of being somebody you're completely not. Most of the time, these people are, you know, heavily attractive people. They try to lure you in thinking that, you know, they want you to think that this person is real. This fantasy of this person that you think you're talking to is real. And, you know, they end up lying to you and end up trying to, whatever their motive is, right? It's kind of like those Nigerian emails you get when you go to your spam folder, when you go to your Gmail, your MSN, your Yahoo, whatever email it is you decide to have, and you look and you get an email saying that you have a cousin in Liberia who is dying, and you happen to be next of kin, and you have been awarded $11.6 million, and in order for you to recoup all of this money, because you were a prince in some foreign country that you had no idea about, you actually are on the $3 bill out there in West Jumanji, and you had no idea, but now you know. And all you got to do is give them your bank information and all this, your social security numbers and your routing number, and they will go on ahead and wire you the money that you earned because you are next of kin of this dying person, of this relative. And next thing you know, people actually do fall for this. People make millions of dollars a year duping people into this, and it's a facade, it's a fake, obviously. So yeah, catfish is, so this person, Ivy, hits the community being a very attractive female, posting pictures, and it is what it is, right? You take a look at her profile, and she ends up following most people of the Madden community. She was following me, she was following, I think, Cookie Boy, and just following all of the content creators, all the Madden Pro players. And not only would she follow, she would want to get your attention by following and unfollowing, so you see it pop up in your notification that this very attractive woman was following you. And it's very easy to take the bait, right? You look, and this very gorgeous woman is following you, so you kind of want to go on ahead, slide up in them DMs. Hey, boo, what's going on? How you doing? Where you live at? You looking mighty good. What you know about Madden? You try to stream? You need help? What it is I can do to make your day better, baby girl. And the reason why this is one of the biggest catfishes in the history of the Madden community, for those of you who don't know, last year we had a catfish from, I forgot his name. I think it was a defensive lineman or offensive lineman from the Raiders. Somebody pretending to be, I forgot his name, but pretending to be an NFL athlete. And I think Khalil Mack ended up tweeting the player, and it wasn't even real or anything like that. But he ended up scamming the community for cards, coins, saying he's just getting his team started if anybody wants to help. And a lot of people, were generously helping with coins and cards and whatnot. Now, mind you, this was last year where players were actually tradable and they were sellable to the recipient, not how it is this year, to where only the person who pulled the player or bought the player is able to auction them. So he was able to make millions and millions and millions of coins. And once it was found out that it was a fake, then EA actually did the right thing. And all the people that traded to that account or bought cards off of that account trying to help actually got their cards and stuff back. But why this is the biggest catfish in the history of the Madden community is because if you watch Ryan's video, which I'm assuming you should do after, don't watch it during the middle because you might not come back. You stay here. I know how a lot of people with ADD, listen, I got ADD myself. Sometimes I'll be editing a video and out of nowhere I'm like, did Home Alone 2 outgross Home Alone 1? So I'll hit the interwebs and I'll just start looking, and next thing I know, I'm like, hey, wait a minute. Joey Pesci dropped a Jewish Christmas album hits? That doesn't even make sense. I need to listen to this album. And next thing you know, you're just in the dark world of the interwebs, and you don't come back. Keep your ass here, watch the video afterwards. Take my word for what it is I'm going to tell you because I've seen the video. So he pretty much exposes that the pictures are coming from a person who I think is Swedish. And he finds the account off of, I believe, Facebook. And the reason why this catfish is big is because not only is Ivy Skye trying to catfish the community by saying, she wanted to be a game changer, and Clint went ahead and hit her up saying, oh, I know a person. And, that right there was one of the biggest things where we were like, wait a minute, man, we can't sit here and have, people just offering her spots for a game changer when we have no idea who she is. But, when an attractive female wants to go on ahead and wants to apply for the position, and we have no type of history of her Madden knowledge, of her ability to understand the game, of her ability to play the game, of her knowledge of understanding of plays and how things should work. But, we have several people offering to help her out when we have a lot of people actually wanting the position, who knows about the game and is actually part of the community, i.e. Logic. But anyways, she actually tweeted out yesterday that her father is having, I think, like issues, I think some type of cancer or some type of colon problem and stuff like that, and they need money for like a surgery or something like that. And she's received over $1,000 from this GoFundMe. Not only did she receive over $1,000, two professional athletes donated to the cause, which is the right thing to do if it was a real situation. Do we have any idea if it's a real situation? Nobody knows. It's kind of like the boy who cried wolf. Like, you get caught lying. Now it's like, if this is real, then, like, we're not gonna assume it's real. We're gonna pretty much think it's fake, because the persona you're pretending to be, the person you're pretending to be, is fake. And it looks like that you're just lying to steal from people. And who's really going to think that this is a true situation? Which I hope not, right? I don't want to hear anybody's parent is going through any type of cancer, or any type of turmoil, or any type of, physical disease or anything like that. That's just bad, right? You don't want anybody to go through that. So hopefully it's not real. But it looks like we would assume that it's a fake, right? Because it's coming from a fake account. And again, we had two professional athletes. Willie Sneed donated $600. Somebody else donated like $500. She was at like $1,200, $1,300 already out of the $8,000 goal. So not only did this person end up, pretty much trying to catfish the Madden community, as of now, this person was able to extract over $1,000 from people in the GoFundMe page. Again, all that information is in Ryan's video, which is in the description as well, if you guys want to go on ahead and check that out. So this catfish is, very, very real, which is kind of ironic, right? The catfish is real, which kind of doesn't really make sense if you understand the term catfish, but it's pretty much exposed that this is a fake account. So, you got to be careful with things like this, because people will do whatever it is they can do to try and steal and take stuff from you that's not theirs. They do not give a damn. They don't have any type of manner. They don't care. They want to be able to get what they want, however it is they get it. They don't care who they hurt. They don't care who they steal from. They do not care any type of bridges they may burn while doing it. All they want is the outcome, and we see it in Madden all the time. Just about 2 weeks ago, my son, who has been getting into Minecraft, he's been getting into Fortnite. Now, I'm not a big fan of letting my son play shooters, but he really, really likes the game. He enjoys it, and so he's been, really, really getting into it. And, he plays on my account, because from my account, people will see that he has his own account, but when people see my gamer tag that's online, I get flooded with a lot of messages and a lot of invites, a lot of party invites and stuff like that. So he likes that, right? He likes that when he's on my account, somebody will send him a party invite, and, he'll join. Hey, this is Baby GS. Want to play some Fortnite? So he's just looking for friends to play with and whatnot. And this is just to let you know how people are. So one day he was playing with a younger kid, and this was maybe like around 8 o'clock. Maybe like around 6 o'clock at night. So, he's playing, he's on the headset, and he's playing with his, friend, anybody he meets, he calls him his friend. And, he's on my account, so, send me a party invite. And it's a younger kid. What it is I like to do is, while he's playing, I have my Elgato open, and I'll have the sound from the Elgato playing through the speaker. So anybody he's in a party with, I get to hear, because he has on a headset, and the game volume goes through the speakers of the headset, and my TV volume is very, very, very low, because I'm usually watching something on my computer, whether it's like a stream, or if I'm watching, whatever it is that I'm watching. So, I'll hear whatever it is I'm hearing through my laptop, and he can hear the game through the headset. But, I don't want anybody being disrespectful to him. I don't want anybody being rude to him. So I like, I'll chime in on a conversation just to make sure nobody is, being crazy. Nobody's cursing. I don't want my son around that stuff. So, he was playing with the younger kid, and the kid happened to know who I was, right? So he's like, my son takes off the headset. He's like, hey, Dad, the person, I forgot who his name was. He's like, he wanted me to tell you that, he's a big fan of your videos. He's been watching you for a while, and he really likes your stuff. So, I tell him, hey, tell him I really appreciate it, man. Thank you very, very, very much. It means a lot. So I end up dozing off, right? And I wake up to about maybe an hour later. And as I wake up, what it is I find my son doing is trying to figure out how to give him my account information. This little weasel told my son that they can go on ahead, and I think it was share a battle pack or share some type of skins or something like that. He was basically asking what my account information was. So I wake up and I just hear, my son going, okay, I'm here. And I'm looking, I wake up, I look at the TV and I see the account information stuff. And he's like trying to find the email and the password to the account. So my son doesn't know any better to give this kid who sounds he's about 11, 12, try to give him my information and stuff like that. So I wake up and I'm like, what the hell is going on? And, my son is freaking out because he can tell by my tone of voice that I'm upset. So he breaks down to me what's going on. So I block the kid and I get on the headset before that. I'm like, what's going on? He's like, your son has, the skins. So I think there's a way where you can share it. So we were just trying it out. So I immediately leave the party then. And I get this long message from him, and he's like, hey, listen, I know what it looks like, that I'm trying to take your account and stuff like that, but that's not what I was trying to do. I was really wondering if you can share skins and stuff like that. So I play back, because I have the Elgato running. I run it back, and I listen to it, and lo and behold, this kid was trying to walk my son through getting my account information, which from there, I'm assuming he probably would have just went on Madden and just, got a lot of cards, a lot of coins, take that stuff over because he's already familiar with my Madden stuff. He's already familiar with the game of Madden, which he plays and stuff like that. So, and then I had to break it down to my son. You don't ever, 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 ever try to give anybody any account information or anything like that because people will try to steal from you. And unfortunately, that's how people are. And they don't care how they get it as long as they get it. So, yeah, that was a crazy situation. But right now, we're probably going to run into an ad. And if you guys really want to support the podcast, which I truly hope you do, if you are watching on PC, please allow the ads to play. If you're watching on mobile, if you're watching on console, if you're watching on a tablet, if you're watching on any form outside of PC, we do not get any revenue whatsoever. If 1 million people watch my video and it's all 1 million people watching on the phones, we don't get anything. But I get it. I'm not asking you to switch from your phone to a computer. Not at all. I understand it's easier, it's more convenient. I get it. I appreciate you watching no matter where it is you watch from. But this is specifically for my people who are watching from a PC, who are watching on a computer. If you can let the ads play, it would definitely help out a lot. And hopefully you can support the podcast that way. Free support. Just watch a few commercials. It would greatly appreciate it. Right now, we're about to go on ahead and talk about what I would like to think is the biggest snake move in the history of the NBA. Coming right up after these ads. Okay, so as you guys know, the Warriors are the defending back-to-back NBA champions. The Warriors have pretty much what I would like to think ruined the NBA the past few years when they went ahead and signed Kevin Durant. Now, Kevin Durant was arguably the second best player in the world when he went on ahead and signed to said team in the offseason when his contract was up. And instead of re-signing with Oklahoma, he goes on ahead and signs with Golden State, who were the greatest winning team in the history of the NBA at that point, going 73-9 that season, but choking a 3-1 lead, losing to the Cavaliers in the finals, and going on ahead and just unable to finish that season with a ring. Then, as we all know, the offseason comes. They, in a shocker, which most people thought either two things were going to happen. Either KD was going to stay with OKC, because let's not forget that year where they ended up losing in the finals, OKC had a 3-1 lead. It was either that year or the year before. I'm not really sure. I'm pretty sure it was that year, though. If I'm mistaken, I apologize. But listen, 3-1 lead. against OKC Thunder. They had Westbrook, they had KD, and they end up having a 3-1 lead, one game away from advancing, and they end up losing, and they end up just one game short. One game short. So most people thought if it wasn't OKC, it was going to be him going to the Wizards because of where he was, brought up in the DC area. Is pretty much, close to home. So we figured if he's not going with OKC, he's going to go there. And out of nowhere, he signs with Golden State. And again, who were fresh off of a 73-9 season, which is statistically the greatest win season in the history of the sport. And then you go on ahead and add arguably the second greatest player in the world to the exact same team they have. It's not like they lost a few players. It's not like they went ahead and lost some key pieces and they're bringing him in. No, they had the exact same team, and now, well, not the exact same team because Harrison Barnes is no longer there. He was replaced with, Kevin Durant. So that went ahead and happened, and it was, in a shocker, right? They end up winning the NBA title that year. The following year, which is the NBA season which just passed, they end up winning again. Now, albeit they were down 3-2 to the Rockets, it looked like the Rockets were going to be able to go on ahead and dethrone the defending champions. But out of nowhere, CP3 ends up hurting his hamstring. He's unable to play in the final 2 games of the series. And we all know what happens. Without CP3, it was fairly easy. Even though they did, I believe, they had the lead in both games at the half. But they just end up giving it away because Warriors are just more talented, and they pull away the last 2 games in Game 7 winning, then going on to the finals and sweeping the Cavaliers. Now, free agency has just hit, and there's a lot of good free agents this year, right? There was LeBron James. There was DeMarcus Cousins. There was Paul George, and a lot of people were speculating that there's a possibility of all 3 of those players going to the Lakers. Paul George has said before when he was in Indiana, he wanted to go to the Lakers, which is why Indiana traded him, because they pretty much felt like they had no shot at being able to bring him back in with the Supermax contract when his deal was up. So instead of losing him for nothing, they end up trading. They get Sabonis, they get Victor Oladipo, and they got something for nothing, right? It's like if you really feel like your player is going to walk away, you might as well get something, right? Which is what they did because, they end up finding out that, he wanted to go to the Lakers, which he publicly said. And he ends up re-signing with OKC. As we all know, LeBron goes to the Lakers. Now, we're going to talk about Boogie Cousins, who ends up signing the absolute, I believe it was the minimum, right? I believe it was the least amount he could get. I don't think he could have gotten any lesser than what it is he got. I believe it was 5.3. I believe this right here is more of a snake move than what KD did. Now, just hear me out. Both of them are awful. Both of them are awful. Now, DeMarcus Cousins claims that he had no offers whatsoever from any team once free agency hit, but it finds out that he had a 2-year, $40 million contract before. No, I believe it was before or after the season, one or the other. It was before the playoffs finished, and he got that contract from the Pelicans, to which he declined. It would have been $20 million a year for 2 years, and he said no. Now, mind you, he ended up pretty much tearing his Achilles, and it has been a injury in basketball to which it pretty much dismantles anybody who has been unfortunate to have that injury. Like you look at Elton Brand, who once he came into the league was an absolute monster. Me being a Chicago Bulls fan, I know that Elton Brand was an absolute monster. Has that injury, not the same. When it happened to Kobe, it's just not the same. Doesn't have the same explosiveness. Doesn't have the same type of jump that he once had before. I believe I was watching Skip Bayless talk about it, that I think they did research out of 28 people that had that injury. I think this was back in 2013 or 2016, whatever year they did the study. out of 28 people that had that same injury, 7 of them never played a single game after that. Like, that's how devastating this injury could be. 25% of those people literally never played. It's not like they came back and they were shelling themselves. They weren't the same. They never played another game. So I can see why teams would want to be worried about just offering him a max contract. In my opinion, he's clearly the best center in the NBA. He's an absolute force, and he's went ahead and developed a pretty consistent shot from the outside. He can grab a rebound. He can run a fast break. I've seen him do it plenty of times. As somebody who played a lot in FanDuel last year, I had DeMarcus Cousins a lot last year. So I would watch a lot of Pelicans games, and I would sit there and watch him grab a rebound, bring it up court. He has good vision. I think he was averaging like 25, 12, and like 5 or something like that. Like, he's one of the best players in the NBA, let alone what I like to think the best big man in the NBA. And, so I can see why teams would be skeptical of wanting to give him a max contract due to the injury that he has, right? You have that injury, and as somebody who is in an opportunity to sign him, I can see you like, now, wait a minute now. We don't know if he's going to be the same player. We don't know what he's capable of with this injury. We don't know if this is going to affect him. We don't know if this is going to be the same guy who put up 25, 12, and 5. The person who put up 25, 12, and 5 should be getting $30 million a year max contract because he's an absolute monster, right? 30 plus. But because of this injury, and not only that, because of when it happened, which was very late in the season, and they say it's somewhere between like a 12 to like 18-month recovery. Most people are thinking he's not even going to be back until like March or April, somewhere around there, to where when you do play him, you're getting him not for long. So I can see why teams would be hesitant to want to go on ahead and put max dollars out there, because you just don't know what you're getting. You don't know if you're getting damaged goods. You don't know if he's going to come back the same player. You don't know just what you're dealing with. So according to him, he had no contract offers. He had no calls once midnight hit. So he himself decides to go on ahead and call the Warriors. Not like the Warriors reached out to him and wanted to recruit him and wanted to bring him to the squad. He calls them to see if he can go on ahead and get a 1-year deal. Now, he is signing with the back-to-back national world champions, and now they have what I would like to think the first time in NBA history, a lineup with 5 All-Stars. Listen to this lineup. You have Curry at the 1, Klay Thompson at the 2, Durant at the 3, Draymond Green at the 4, and when he comes back, DeMarcus Cousins at the 5. This isn't an NBA team. This is the Monstars. This right here is the most ferocious lineup ever assembled in the history of any sport. Any sport. Let's break it down to show you how disgusting this lineup is. Take 5 All-Stars on the East. You could take any 5 All-Stars you want. Let's say at, from 1 through 5, let's say you get DeRozan or Oladipo at the 2. Let's say at center you get Embiid. Let's say you get, Ben Simmons at the, whatever. Whoever it is you feel like is an all-star at the East. Let's say Kyrie at the 1. Whoever the team it is, that team may possibly give the Warriors a run for their money if healthy in a series. That's how dominating this lineup is. I couldn't believe it. I was shocked. I was stunned. I was appalled. Now, as a Bulls fan, I'm happy we're in the East, but as a Bulls fan, I don't want to see this dynasty that they have continue, right? I don't want to sit here and watch again the Warriors win over and over and over again. So I was rooting for LeBron. I was rooting for PG-13. I was rooting for DeMarcus Cousins to somehow all end up in LA to get maybe even Kawhi or some type of variation of those players to somehow give these Golden State Warriors a challenge because their team is ferocious, their team is disgusting, their team is the best team that ever got assembled, and you figured there's no way they can get better. But the Cobra Snake that DeMarcus Cousins is figures, you know what? And he called it the smartest decision anyone has ever made. And I mean, I guess I'm just a bitter NBA fan, so I guess that's why I'm opposed to it. But in all actuality, it's a very smart decision from him. He does have the right to go anywhere he wants, and he did go to a team to where he's not rushed to come back. He's not needed to perform when he comes back. He's not needed to take a heavy load. He's not needed to go on ahead and be pressured to put up monstrous numbers. He's not. There's just no pressure whatsoever, right? Because the team is what it is already with those four guys in Curry, Clay, Draymond, and KD, and now you add DeMarcus Cousins. And he can sit back, get healthy, play little by little, and get himself back in there. So the idea is there's no way he's going back to Golden State after this year because they have a few contracts that are up, which, Stephen is taken care of for a while. Kevin Durant could be, I believe he has a 2-year deal. I believe the second year is a player option. So I believe the first year is guaranteed. The second is not. If I'm mistaken, I apologize. But I believe he has the option to get out after the second year. But if not, Clay is up and Draymond is up. So they got some contracts to look over. But if you want to take a look at what move is worse, I would love to know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section. I personally think what DeMarcus Cousins did is worse than what KD did. Yeah, okay, he joined the team that beat him. You can sit there and say that, which most people do, bring up that argument. You don't go and you join the team that beat you, and you're one game away. You had a 3-1 lead. But that team is already assembled. It is what it is. Nothing you can do about it. And then you go and grab the best big man in the league to add to that lineup for a $5.3 million contract when this player is clearly a $25, $30, $35, $40 million a year guy. And he goes on ahead and takes that small amount, and you take a look and they replace that lineup, Zaza Pachulia, and they replace JaVale McGee with DeMarcus Cousins. How many people are truly looking forward to watching the NBA this year? It's disgusting on what is going on. It's crazy to sit back and think that one team, and now we're not going to sit there and blame the Warriors, right? Because they did everything a franchise is supposed to do, right? Most of the team is homegrown. They drafted Clay, they drafted Draymond, they drafted Stephen Curry, they drafted these all-stars, so you can't sit there and, blame them as an organization. They did what they were supposed to do, right? They found talent that other players didn't want. They took them where they did in the draft, and they turned out to be very damn good. And it turns out that Stephen turns out to be a back-to-back unanimous for the first time in the history of the sport MVP, and Klay Thompson turns out to be one of the best defenders, one of the best pure sharpshooters in the league. Turns out that Draymond is one of the best defenders in the league, is absolute floor general with amazing vision and can, put up a few points a night, but for the most part, he's your bully on the court. He's the guy who's going to protect you. He's your Charles Oakley. He's the guy who's not going to back down from anyone. He's going to give you that toughness that every team needs. And then they go out and they recruit the best player in free agency at the time, which happens to be the second best player in the world, and Kevin Durant. I'm just a bitter fan, and I'm upset to sit back and watch this unfold. It's just like, imagine if Julio Jones and, a few other, great players want to get together. It's like, let's just all go to Green Bay, right? Let's just continue to pack it on, right? Let's give them Julio Jones. Let's give them OBJ, right? Let's go on ahead and let's get Patrick Peterson and Ramsey and Ndamukong Suh. Let's just all just go little by little to Green Bay. It's just like, you can't sit there and let one team get so great. How, Sway? How are you going to sit there and let that snake, DeMarcus Cousins, go to the Warriors? It's disgusting. This year is going to fly by. No team has, I don't believe any team has a shot. I'm just finding out I believe today that they're saying contract negotiations with Capella is pretty much faltering with him in Houston. That's not good, right? If any team has a chance in the West, it's Houston because they had a 3-2 lead on them already. It's not looking good because if they get DeMarcus Cousins healthy by playoff time, which everybody's expecting him to be, then I don't think any team has a shot. But any team you're going to look for to try and have some type of decent, like any type of chance to making it happen is going to be Houston. And it just looks like Houston is not going to be able to bring back Capella. Hopefully that's not true, because if they lose Capella, then I don't give them any chance on beating the Warriors. I don't give them any chance as it is now. And it's just looking, and you got to think about it from DeMarcus Cousins, right? Yeah, it's the safe thing to do, but it's a one and done deal. But not only does he have to prove that he's healthy, he has to take these numbers to the team that wants to sign him the year after. Let's say he's healthy, and with that team, you're not going to be able to put up, as the big man, you're not going to be able to put up 25, 12, and 5. Let's be realistic. They have way too many shooters. They have Kevin Durant. There's no way you're going to be able to put up those type of numbers. He's probably going to go into the offseason with numbers of somewhere along the lines of like 12, 8, and 2, and he's going to want to sign like this, some type of max deal. I don't know what it is, man, but that whole thing just ruined my off season. It ruined my upcoming season for the NBA because Golden State is at it once again. The only thing we can hope that's not for those of us who are not Golden State fans, because for those of you who are Golden State fans, believe me, I know how happy you are, and it's deserving. You should be happy. But for those of us who are not, the only thing we can hope is that this team somehow dismantles. Is that Clay goes elsewhere, Draymond goes elsewhere, or they can only keep one, and the team just kind of breaks apart. That's the only hope this NBA has. Because if they somehow figure out how to keep Clay, KD, Draymond, and Clay together for another 3-4 more years, who knows? All they need is just a serviceable big man. And you're going to need another team of at least 2 superstars and a third good option, i.e. Houston, with CP3, with Harden, and Capella being a pretty damn good player, and them having, good shooters with, Tucker. They had Ariza, which unfortunately didn't go like 1 for 12. They don't got Ariza anymore. But, last year team, they had the pieces to be able to do it. And unfortunately, they just fell short because CP3 got hurt. But it's going to take a monstrous squad to dethrone this team. We have to sit back, wait for another year, and we need to go on ahead because nobody's beating the Warriors. Let's be honest. Who's going to beat the Warriors this year? I don't see it. I don't see it happening from any team, barring injury, and I don't want them to lose that way. I don't want anybody to get hurt. I hurt when players get hurt. It's a shame when we can't see Aaron Rodgers on the field. It's a shame when we can't see Andrew Luck on the field. It's a shame when we can't see, Boogie when he got hurt last year. I hate when players get injured. I don't want to see them lose due to injury, like a severe injury like Steph, who did get hurt last year, but was able to recoup before the playoffs because Zaza hurts people even on his own damn team. You don't want to see people not being able to perform due to injury. I hate that. So I'm hoping, everybody's healthy. But I don't see anybody beating that team. It's disgusting and it's crazy on how people are able to assemble that team. Coming up, we got a few ads for you guys. And again, if you guys could watch that, man, I'll greatly support it. But right now, in a bit, we're going to talk about what people are doing that's getting national attention more and more every single day. And listen, white people, we got to stop doing this. We have to stop doing this. Coming up in a second. All right, so for those of you who are very familiar with the calls that people are doing worldwide, like the little girl who was selling water in front of her complex building, who had the police called upon her, and I think it was what was it, BBQ Page or something like that, when the black family was out. I believe, was it in Houston? It was somewhere where they was barbecuing, and the cops got called upon them because the white lady said that they were, I think, barbecuing without a permit and stuff like that. Listen, white folks, it's not looking good for you guys, man. You guys cannot sit here and call the police like they're customer support and just have them coming out at any single part for absolutely no reason. I think just recently we had a white guy call the police on an African American lady and her daughter who were swimming because he said that they weren't supposed to be there and he needed like verification and proof of her like pool card and stuff like that. You cannot be calling them like their customer service and wanting out because they're barbecuing because you believe they don't have a barbecue permit, or this is a grill free zone. Like this part of the park, it's a grill free zone. So let me go on ahead and notify the authorities. The police need to come because damn it, these people are having too much fun and they have, what is that? A grill in this part of the park? That's not supposed to be there. They shouldn't be grilling there. This is a grill free zone. How dare they disrespect this park? I'm going to go ahead and call the authorities. Why? Why are we doing that? Why, when we see a black woman taking her children out swimming in a pool, you go on and say, let me get closer to the mic. She looks like she doesn't belong, and we need verification to prove that she belongs here. Or you got a little girl selling water on a hot day in front of your building, and you're going to call the cops because this little girl doesn't have a permit. We got to stop doing this, people. We got to stop doing this. As a minority, as a Puerto Rican, born in the slums, in the hood, and still currently live there, I know what it's like to just be looked at differently. Now, I'm not going to sit there and say my situation is anywhere similar to the oppression that black people get, because it's not. But again, where I'm from, where I live, in my hood, in my area, in my space, in my confinements, I'm a minority over here. And I know what it's like to be looked at differently. And it's not good. It's not good. Back in the day, when I was playing for my high school team, right? I played football and basketball. Your boy was a star. The only thing that kept me from going to the league is a bum knee. Excuse me as I go on ahead and take a sip of this delicious Sunkist pineapple soda. People, feel free to tweet Sunkist. Let them know that you just purchased a pineapple soda to me. Thanks. Maybe I can get a case sent to my house every single day. As a minority, we would go on ahead and we would take rides to other people's, when we were the away team, we would go to their football field, we would go to their courts and stuff like that. And now listen, if anybody knows me, everybody knows I give it to every race equally. Okay? There's no racism when it comes to me. I love each and every single race. But if anybody is from where I'm from, you know what I mean when I say a white town. Now, don't sit there and be like, what do you mean? There's no such thing as a white town? Like, what do you mean? It doesn't make any sense. Oh, no, it's true. Listen, when you live from where I live, Bridgeport, Connecticut, and we were going out to play Stamford, and we were going out to these rich areas, and we were going out to the quote-unquote white areas, we would go there, and we would just be looked at differently. It was just me and maybe one other Latino and like 10 other black dudes that were on the basketball team, and the whole area is just white. You could just feel the eyes just looking at you wrong, just walking through their school, and you got literally security guards just following you, keeping their eyes on you for no unnecessary reason. Right? You get there, and it's those white schools are nice, man. They're nice. We would go there, and they would have freshly cut grass for their football team. They would have fresh paint for the numbers. They would have uniforms sponsored by Nike. They would have their name on the back of their jersey. They would have both parents at the game holding signs. Kyle, go! Kyle, number 21! They would sit there and have actual Gatorade and Powerade, real cheerleaders with nice skirts and actual pom-poms, and they would sit there and have nice equipment and football helmets with visors. And what did we have? What did we have for equipment? What do we have for a field? We had absolutely nothing. My school had a box of cleats that our players would use because we couldn't get our own cleats. So they would go on ahead and have box of cleats that they've had for the same amount of for a long time. And every single game, we would go to this box and we would try to find our size, and we would try to find, cleats that fit, because we didn't have our own cleats. We didn't even have our own football field. We had to play at the local park. When they came to play us, we had to play at the local park because we didn't have our own football field. When you go to their basketball, when you go to these white cities and you go and you play basketball there, their hardwood has got that fresh smell of just pure wood. They had the actual NBA scoreboards hanging above center court. They will sit there and sell, like, every single home game. They sell like snacks and stuff like that. They had actual food there where you could sit there and buy like hot dogs and buy like homemade chili and brisket and ribs and all this delicious stuff. When you come to our side of town, we didn't have none of that stuff, man. We don't have no parents out there supporting us. Why? Because most of us around this area, single parents, single mother out there, most likely working, can't make it to the game because they got to sit there and support their kids, right? So they can't go on out there. When you sit there, you go to the white towns, man, they got both parents there. It's really nice, and they drive in their nice cars. And when you come here, who's in our stands? Students, no parents. We had practice jerseys for when I played for Bassick High School. Practice jerseys. Just those little net shirts with like a number on the back. We didn't have no type of stitching, no type of uniforms, no type of name on the back, no type of anything. It's just awful. But it's part of the world where I live in, and white people, guys, got to do better, man. You can't sit there and look at a little girl selling water and claim that she's being too loud and you can't get any work done. The woman made marijuana edibles for pets. How much silence do you need to bake? How much silence do you need to sit there and put a flour cookie on a pan and shove it in the oven at 400 degrees and bake for 25 minutes? How much silence do you need? Let the little girl go out there and bake water. This is happening more and more where people are getting caught for no unnecessary reason. I think the next time that happens, and it's for no unnecessary reason, especially against a minority, I think the person that called the cops needs to get fined. Do you know that, I don't know what the location was, but I read it on Boxing that a woman got injured, and I think she broke her leg, and the bone was sticking out of her, like it broke the skin, sticking out of her leg, looking crazy. And do you know that she screamed for people not to call the ambulance? She said, please. She was screaming at people, nobody called the ambulance. Do you know how much it costs? I don't have insurance, and it costs $3,000 for somebody to call to have an ambulance to go out there. Of course, they called, the ambulance. They called 911 emergency. This woman is sitting there with a broken leg. Somebody come scoop this girl, bring her to a hospital. She's got to get treated. But she screamed, nobody do it. I don't have insurance. Do you know how much? That's what she was saying. Do you know how much it costs for a hospital? That's another conversation of us in America with our Medicare and how we handle things. It's disgusting. I sit there, I talk to people from Canada, I talk to people from the UK, and they sit there, yeah, like if I just broke my hand, I'd just walk into the hospital and just, they just take care of it. How is it with you guys? Oh, well, we got to go in. We got to give, proof of insurance because it's going to cost for them to look at it. Yeah, we get charged for everything. We get charged for the room. We get charged for the day. We get charged for x-rays. We get charged for all that, and we need insurance. Oh, and if you don't have insurance, like let's say what I do for a living, I work for YouTube. They don't have any insurance or anything like that, so I got to get, my own insurance. And if you happen to don't have insurance, like I remember to this day I'm still paying for stitches that I had over 10 years ago. I cannot tell a lie on my son. Well, maybe not 10 years ago, maybe like 8 years ago, something like that. I remember I had a friend whose name was Alex, who was from Stanford, and he was working. He got hired at Walgreens back in my Walgreens days, and we end up getting cool. And he's from the Stanford area, and I'm from here in Bridgeport. So he's asking me, if we ever want a ball, we got to go out there because they got like real official courts out there. Of course, it's a nice white area out there. It's real nice out there. He's like, at night, they turn on the lights. You can play at dark. We're over here. We got rims with no nets. We got spray paint all over the backboards. We got graffiti everywhere. There's drug needles. There's shootouts you got to worry about. As soon as the lights go on, that's not an opportunity for you to keep playing so you can actually see the court. That means get the hell home. You don't want to be outside when the lights are on because anything could go down from where I'm from, and you don't want to be there when that happens. But over there, the lights turn on and it gets official. They got scoreboards. So we go out there one day. I pick him up from work. We drive out there. I mean, he actually drove my car because I didn't know how to get there. This is before where GPS was like easily accessible. So we drive out there. I was 20 at the time. So it might have been like 10 years ago. So we go out there and we're balling. I go up for a rebound. Somebody, actually it was Alex, I believe, comes down from getting the rebound. And I remember just like almost blacking out. It happened in an instant. I just look up. He's coming down. Bam. Elbow right above like my eyebrow, right in the middle of my head. And I had a cut maybe as wide as a thumb right in the middle of my forehead, leaking blood. And I felt like real woozy. I wasn't sure what the hell was going on. And I just felt like really lightheaded. And people are looking at me in disgust. They can't believe my face is cut open. And I didn't have any insurance. I'm a young kid at there, So he ends up driving me to a hospital. And to this day, I'm paying $75 a month from back then because of the amount of money it costs to get the stitches in, to get the stitches out, to for me to be seen. It's crazy. It's again, that's another it's another conversation and stuff like that. But we got to do better, man. I think they need to be charged the same way that lady did not want an ambulance to come out there to repair her broken leg because she said, do you know how much it costs to be driven in an ambulance? Please do not call. Please do not call the emergency because I don't have the money for it. The same way you can charge for that, these goofy ass people that's calling because they see a black mother swimming and she doesn't look like she belongs and they need to see if she has a pool pass. The same way you call the cops because they're grilling in an area that is grill free. The same way you call the police because an 8-year-old girl is selling water in front of on the corner. The same way you get charged for an ambulance coming out, these people need to get charged for police coming out. Let's see how much it continues if that happens. Let's see how many people are going to pick up the phone and sit there and say, hey, my neighbor is playing music too loud unnecessarily. And the cops come out and it turns out it's false. There was another story where a white neighbor ended up calling the cops on a black man because he was a real estate agent and he was going in there to take pictures of the inside and show it to a client. And the white lady called the cops on him because she said he didn't belong there and he shouldn't be inside the house because he didn't own it. I believe it was a story I seen on World Star. The cops get there and it turns out they were actually upset at like the lady. Like, listen, you can't call the cops. He's doing his job. What do you want him to do? If you call the cops again on us on something like this, we're going to go on there. And they threatened to arrest her. And they sat there and allowed him to go inside, do what he had to do, and come back out. They need to be called. I mean, if you called them unnecessarily, and it turns out that is unnecessarily, I think they should get a bill. I think the lady who wants to call the police on an 8-year-old girl selling water, if she's not doing anything wrong, she's not harassing anybody, if she's not making any mistakes, if she's not doing anything wrong illegally, I think that person who called the cops should get a bill. A big fat bill for calling the cops. You're wasting their time. You're wasting the city's money. You're wasting a lot of things. Let's say they get out there and an actual accident happens. There's a robbery or something like that, and they were maybe in position to be closer. You don't know the type of situation, but let's just say it happens. They were closer, but they had to respond to this call of this girl selling water, and now they can't get there in time, and let's say what could have been maybe a captured person in a robbery ends up not being captured, or a death takes place or something like that because they weren't in there in time, because they're out responding to a lady who looks like she doesn't belong when swimming and they want to see her verification for a pool pass. White people, we got to do better. We got to do better, man. We can't sit here and call 911 on the minorities out here because it looks like we don't belong, because it looks like we're selling water without a permit and we're too loud, because it looks like we don't belong here and we're grilling at an area of the park that's a grill-free zone. We got to do better, people. We got to do better. And when I say we, I mean us as a society. You sit there and you look at a little girl selling water, you don't call the cops on her. Buy a bottle of water, get your goofy ass back upstairs, and go cook them damn cookies. When you sit there and you see a black mother with her daughter out there swimming, you don't sit there and call the cops because she looks like she doesn't belong. Bring out a volleyball or one of those little beach balls and start playing with the mother. Have fun. Enjoy your damn summer. You sit there and you see people grilling, having a good time, especially black people. I don't know about y'all people, but when it comes to cooking, black people, oh, they cook good. They cook real good. I don't know about y'all, but if I go and I'm just chilling at a park and I see a black family barbecuing, oh, I'm not calling the authorities. I'm going to go on ahead and see if I can get me a plate. I know there's going to be some mac and cheese. I know there's going to be some type of burgers. I know there's going to be some good chicken. They might mess around, pull out some macaroni salad, some potato salad, some type of soul food. Black people cooking, they cook good. And listen, I'm Latino, okay? Puerto Ricans party for absolutely no reason. Son messes around and goes to school for a 4 week straight, they throw a party. Bring out the cervezas, the coronas, bring out the damn, the llamas, the little thing, what are those things you hit with the candy drops up, the piñatas, you know, quinceañeras, you know, the daughter's only 12, but hey, it's practice for the quinceañera, man. We're going to practice 2 years in a row. That way we know when it happens, you know, when she's 14, 15, everything works out, you know. You know, we got to practice for 2 years straight so we get the real deal, you know, out there. But with black people, when they party, it's a completely different story, man. It's more fun. It's more enjoyable. The food's amazing. So instead of going on ahead and calling the cops when you see black family barbecuing, see if you get you a plate, man. See what they got going on. See if you go on ahead and get you a little bit of food and socialize, man. Don't sit there and call the cops. And if you do call the cops and the cops show up and they are doing nothing wrong, if they are obeying the law and they are doing nothing wrong, the person that called needs to get a bill. That way this nonsense can stop. Because, damn it, it needs to. And speaking of stop, there's something else that true females need to stop doing. You guys are deceiving us young kings out there, and it's not fair. Coming up in a minute. All right, so I seen this picture right here on Instagram, or I believe it was on Boxden. If you want to go on ahead and take a look at the picture, the link of the picture is in the description if you want to see what I'm talking about. And yeah, look at that picture as I go on ahead, you know, take another sip of this pineapple kissed soda. Take a look at this. You take a look at that picture. Look at the girl on the left. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I love me some black woman. Lost my virginity to a black girl. Something about black women that I just absolutely love. Maybe it's because they cook so damn good. But damn it, I love me a fine, thick young thing. And that girl on the left, she looks good. At least to me. She looks good. Look at the right. Look at the difference. Look at the right. She looks like an onion. She looks like the damn stick from the Monsters, man. If you remember, what was it, Othea Crumb holding up his eyes? She looked like the little stick with the little patch. She looked like a little... Look at the right, man. It's crazy on how you can look like that on the right by the day, but at night, you could turn into this pretty young thing on the left. How, Sway? This right here is deceiving. It's not right. This right here is fraudulent. Our king should not be going home with what is on the left and waking up to what's on the right. Do you know what options you have as a man? None. If you're going bald, that's it. You're stuck. If you don't look good, you better hope your paper right. You better hope you're flying. You better hope you're driving something nice. You better hope you live somewhere nice. You better hope you got some good money coming in, because if you ugly, there's no hope. But look at the girl on the right. And she turned into the girl on the left. That should be illegal. That should be illegal. Do you know that there was a case of a Japanese couple to where this man end up suing his wife because she was too ugly, because she had plastic surgery, and he never knew about it, and she was, good looking after the surgery, but before, oh, she was fugly. I'm gonna see if I can find the story. If I can find the story, I'm gonna link that in the description as well. But he literally ended up, I believe he sued her, and he ended up getting like the marriage like annulled because he didn't, he married somebody who was fake. Like, that's not her. Like, she had all this like surgery done. I had no idea about it. Like, that's not you. Look at her at the right. Look how horrible that is. But then look on the left. That's the Nubian queen right there. That's somebody I just want to look at. Oh, baby girl, you fine. Damn, you look good. I don't know about you guys, man. I'm pretty sure most of my audience were men out here. We could sit here and we could agree that if you ugly, there's just nothing you can do, man. You got to sit there and just deal with whatever it is God gave you. If you sit there and you in heaven and God's sitting there and he's giving out his special abilities, Alicia Keys come up, sprinkle some juice on her, she's going to be a single. Swiss Beat comes up, sprinkle a little bit of juice on him, he's going to be an amazing, talented producer. Drake comes up, sprinkle a little bit of juice on him, he's going to be able to sit here and sing what other people writes. Whatever the case may be. But, when your turn comes up and he don't give you no special ability, he just beats you with the ugly stick. Twice. On Saturday and Sunday. The day he was supposed to rest, he went back for seconds. Whew, this nigga's ugly. Hit him with the ugly bat again. And you just born just looking fugly. As a man, there's just nothing you can do, man. I think this is crazy at the fact that you can go to bed with what's on the left and wake up to what's on the right. That is, I'm telling you, that should be illegal, man. How is that even fair? Us guys, we have no chance to improve ourselves whatsoever, like physically. The only thing you can do really to change is weight loss, right? The only thing you can do is if you're like a big dude, you lost some weight, you got in shape, like, oh, okay, you're looking better, you're more physique. But that's about it. And for those of you guys that are in shape, like you're not sit there, 500 pounds looking crazy, there's just nothing you can improve, right? There's nothing you can do to sit there and go from what's on the right to what's on the left. There's just no hope for us, man. Should be illegal. I'm telling you, this right here deserves 3 to 5 minimum. If you go home with what's on the left and you believe that this is what you're bringing home and this is the person that you want in your life, but you find out she looks like an onion at the right, look at that. She barely has a ponytail. Look at the right, the left side of her head. But, if you're just looking at the picture, it'll be on your right-hand side. Look at the little hair sticking out. You see that? Like, that's like maybe 3 inches of hair. Can't even slick that into a ponytail. This is them baby edges, they call it, man. They call them the baby edges. You got to go in there and slick that back to the side of the head, man. Look at that, man. That's wild. I see a lot of crazy transformation pictures, too. And it's crazy to think that women can go on ahead and deceive young kings like this. It's not right. And I don't know if I have any female listeners. The only person I know is maybe my homegirl, Country. You may have friends that look like that on the right, that wake up in the morning on the right, but then they head out looking like that on the left. You got to tell them to stop. You got to tell them to be them natural selves. Us guys out there, we got to go out there with what we got. We can't sit there and go to a shop and get different type of skin tones from makeup and sit there and have our eyebrows looking different and sit there and have some type of glow and have our hair, we're bald in one, I mean, I've seen it. Don't get me wrong. I've seen men have like bald men come out of shops. I've seen videos of guys, they have hair pieces and next thing you know they have dreads and stuff like that. But like as a man, it's just not the same. Like we don't do that. Yeah, there's a couple instances out there where people do it, but women are doing this every single day. It's not right, man. You got to sit there and be natural, man. You got to sit there and be who you are. I remember when I went to Puerto Rico with my ex 2 years ago. One thing that, we had a conversation with, it really bothered me, is that every time we got back in the car and we would drive to a different location, because in one day, we were there for 2 weeks, and one day we would visit 4 or 5 different places. And they had a lot of family out there, and they would sit there and, visit a lot of family, stuff like that. One thing that got under my skin is that every single time we got into the car, she would put on more makeup every single time. And at one point, it's like, okay, like, I'm not the jealous type, but like, yo, who are you trying to impress here? Like, you putting on all this makeup, like you look good, all right? You don't got to sit here and we go visit a water fountain, we take pictures, we get back in the car, you're putting on more makeup, more lipstick, more foundation, all this stuff. Like, who, like, especially in front of your man. Like, I'm like, what, like, you're not trying to look good for me at this point. You're already looking good. I've already told you you look good. Now you're just putting all this stuff on for what? Who are you trying to impress here? Okay, I'm gonna need you to relax. I'm gonna need you to calm down. Okay, you're doing it 5 times a day. I need you to calm down. This has got to stop. They out here making us kings look bad, man, deceiving us. That's why, like, I've seen a lot of transformation pictures, but this one right here is stunning. It's wild. It's crazy, and it should be illegal. I'm telling you. If a man takes his woman to court, let's say you're in a relationship, and you look, and you sit there, and you see what's on the left, if you look and you see that there, I think that right there needs to be about 3 to 5 offense minimum. You sit there, yo, listen, Your Honor, listen. I go to bed and she's in there. I thought I woke up and she was looking like an onion. And I thought we was being robbed, man. I was about to hit her with a bat. I was about to bring out the old 9. I was about to pull out my wedge. And I don't mean pull out my wedge like I'm a wedger. Like I'm going to go inside them sugar walls. I'm going to pull out this putter and I'm going to go ahead and slap it upside her head because it's a whole different person. Thought I was getting robbed. I don't even know what the hell was going on. It's a completely different person in my damn bed. Shouldn't even be happening. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And we got to do better. Women, listen. Women, we got to do better as a culture. We can't sit here, go out the house looking like a 10, but in naturality, in the real world, God made you a 3. That's not fair. It's not fair to us kings, man. We don't deserve that. We deserve better. We deserve natural. She should love the fact that on the right, she looks like an onion. It's okay. Embrace it. Love who God made you. If God made you with no long hair, with messed up ass eyebrows, with a goofy ass face, a big ass forehead, love it. Embrace it. There's somebody out there for you that would love you looking like an onion. I'm sure there's a vegan man out there who's going to be happy as hell you look like that. You got to sit there and be happy with who you are. You're altering what God made, and that's not fair. It's not right. It's deceitful. Should be illegal. Should be illegal. Now we're about to go on ahead and get into a topic of who really helped who, because there's some controversy going on with Drake and Ninja. And one person is accusing the other of using them. Coming up in a minute. All right, so hopefully, and again, I really appreciate you guys who have sat there and watched the ads. Greatly appreciate it. For those of you who are on PC, definitely helps out a lot. We'll continue to do these, and if it's going to be, beneficiary, support-wise, monetarily, wise, and you guys do your part, I'm going to continue to do my part. If you guys continue supporting it, we'll continue doing it for you guys. So Ninja ends up putting out a clip. Well, he didn't put out a clip. Somebody took a clip, and he's referring to Drake, and he ends up pretty much saying that Drake used him. He's seen him coming up in the gaming scene and seen maybe like another source of influencers, another source of, another source he can tap into, the gaming scene. Ninja's everywhere right at this point in time. He's going on CNN, and I think the CNN interview was, I'm not sure if it was after Drake or not, but, he's pretty much a big deal at this point, right? He's like owning the gaming world. And this clip comes out, and hopefully I remember. And I put this clip in the description where you can go ahead and check it out, to which he says he pretty much, used him. Now, there was a lot of, now he ends up clearing it up a little later, basically saying, or maybe he's just a genius, kind of like deflecting it, like, damn, I don't think I should have said that, so let me kind of play it off a little bit and say something different to where, they don't take what I first said a little too seriously. Now, it could be in a situation where you can look at it both ways. Now, when you take a look at Drake, who's obviously a mega star, right? He's known all over the world. He's arguably music's biggest artist today, and he's very, very famous, very, very popular. Now you have Ninja, who on the other side is a very big gamer, who is the biggest gamer, has the biggest view base, gets the most financially, viewer wise. He's absolutely dominating. You can say he's the Drake of gaming, or you can say Drake is the Ninja of music, whichever way it is you want to say. Now, I just think it's crazy for Ninja to even think that, because at first, I mean, people are going to say he meant it as a joke, but looking at it, I think he like meant it, but then he tried to, again, deflect it as a joke, like, damn, this could go bad. You don't want to sit there and say something too, risque like that, because then it might come back to you and whatnot. But if you guys, don't know, which I'm sure most of you guys know, Drake ended up joining Ninja on one of his live streams, and it turned out to be the statistical biggest solo stream in the history of Twitch. He ended up streaming with Drake. Drake tweeted it out, and it actually happened. I believe it happened on March 14th, if I'm not mistaken. Which is, in coincidence with his title song being March 14th, which people thought was, I believe his son's name was Adonis, right? Was his birthday, because people were tweeting out like, oh, on March 14th, he was playing Fortnite with Ninja. He wasn't with his son, but his son's birthday isn't March 14th. I believe the title of the song, March 14th, was when he found out he was having a son. Which is another crazy story, right? Because I found out that today that apparently Kanye gave Pusha T the ammo for that Adon, the story of Adidon disc, because supposedly Drake went out there to, I think it was like Wyoming, somewhere, to write for Kanye on his album, and Kanye heard the song March 14th from Drake that was supposed to be on the album, of him addressing that he has a son and whatnot, and he let it play for Kanye, and Kanye heard it before anybody else did, and he ended up telling Pusha T, like, this dude got a son, right? Like, he's not even, like, with him. He's out there in France or wherever the hell he is, and all this, which is crazy. But anyways, it turns out to be the biggest live stream in the history of Twitch, solo stream, and it comes out to have like 600,000 viewers plus. The amount of subscribers he had that day was insane. I remember watching the stream, and one little plug he said, like, listen, for anybody that has Twitch Prime, you can sub to the channel for free. Some of you guys might not even know you have it. If you want to know if you have it, just click the subscribe button, and if it's available for you to use, then you can go ahead and use it on this channel, to which the chat lit up. You couldn't even see anybody typing. All it was so-and-so subbed with Twitch Prime, Twitch Prime, Twitch Prime, Twitch Prime, and it was crazy. That right there was his biggest month of streaming. He gained so many followers, so many subscribers. It was crazy. Now you can sit there, and it looks like he's being a little ungrateful, right? Somebody sit there and somebody as big as Drake sits there and help you out with a gaming with you, and tweets it out on his Instagram with, I don't know, 30 million followers or whatever, 40 million, and he tweets it out to his 30 million Twitter followers, whatever the hell it is. You guys are retarded. And he ends up having this stream which is disgustingly big, and from then, every day from then, like, he's been averaging like 140,000 viewers a stream. It's crazy. Like, the amount of, now I wasn't watching Ninja before. I heard before that he was a completely different person. I'm hearing that he's quote unquote selling out because he's going more PG. He's going, like, he doesn't want cursing like around him. He tries not to curse as much as possible, where before, he was cursing all the time, and he's just like a completely different person. I mean, that's what I don't know. I wasn't watching Ninja. I believe he was an H1Z1 streamer, and they said he was like really, really good. He was like top 10 or something like that. Like, he was really good. And he was just completely different. I've seen clips of him going crazy, cursing out back in the day, and now he's just like completely different supposedly. So it's wild, but I don't know, man. It's like you sit there and you have this following that both of them have, and I would love to know how you guys interpret the clip. Because if I'm, Drake, I sit there like this ungrateful little bastard, man. Sit there and obviously Drake doesn't need anything from Ninja, right? What can Ninja sit there and do to really help him out, right? Because he's Drake, right? But you can take a look at it from the other side too, because it's like my son knows who Ninja is. He don't know who Drake is. My son's 7 years old. He knows Ninja because he plays Fortnite and he likes Fortnite, and he knows that he's, like I seen him on, watching YouTube on the app on my TV, and I remember asking him, that is, it's Ninja, and but he doesn't know who Drake is. And you got to figure there's millions of people like my son who know who Ninja is because of Fortnite being so popular and whatnot. But it's just a crazy situation. Joking or not, it's something he shouldn't have said, because it just comes off looking like he's a spoiled little ungrateful brat that happens to be in a place to where, nobody even thought it was achievable. Like, I remember Dr. Disrespect being the biggest streamer out there at one time, pulling in, 10, 20,000 viewers a stream. And we were sitting there like, wow, this is crazy. And I remember, that whole, scandal that happened where he admitted to his audience that he was going to take some time away because he cheated. He got caught cheating on his wife. And he took months off, several months. I don't know how long it was. It was a while, though. And the very first time he came back, he had the record for longest stream, and a biggest stream. I think it had like 300,000 viewers or something wild. Pretty much broke Twitch. The website went down. It was crazy, and he at the time had the biggest stream. He was like number one. He was running everything, and now it's like he's nowhere near Ninja. He'll have 10,000 a stream, 14,000, which is still unbelievable, right? Like, whew. Man, the most I've ever had in one stream was 6,000. I remember it was a few years ago when the Golden Ticket Calvin Johnson came out, and I was streaming it and streaming the packs, and we had a little over 6,000 in there. To average 10 to 14 every single day, to me, is like crazy. That's like life change, right? Then you got Ninja, who's putting up 80 to 100 to 120,000 people a stream. He is obviously killing it when it comes to that. But it's just a big, just something I wanted to touch on, man, on them two supposedly going at it, where it looks like he's a little, maybe a little ungrateful, man, saying that he kind of used them and whatnot just because he seen he was coming up. And like I said, even if he was joking around, which he doesn't look like he was because he went around and backtracked it, not something, you should really say. And supposedly, I'm not sure if this is true, right? But I had heard that Drake's label contacted Ninja to not play his music on stream. I tried searching that for myself, and I couldn't find that to be true anywhere. So I don't know if that's a truthful statement, but I remember someone telling me that, he got told from his label or whatever that he's not allowed to play any type of his music on his stream. I don't know if that's true. If it is true, I'm not sure how long ago that was or what the situation is or whatnot. But I don't know how close them two are, because I remember on stream he contacted Drake because Drake wasn't really too familiar with how to, join and stuff like that, because they were cross-platforming, where I believe Drake is on console and Ninja's on PC. So they had to like set some stuff up for them to be able to play. And he contacted Drake straight to his phone. He had him on his cell phone, and had his cell phone number. So obviously, they had, Drake trusted him enough to give him his, personal cell phone number, or he probably has a handful of phones. Who knows? But just a crazy, situation. Who's right? Who's wrong in this situation? What do you guys, think? It's a clip that I seen. I'm just like, ooh, I don't think he should have said that. But then there's people, defending Ninja, saying, Ninja doesn't need Drake. He was big before him. Like, who cares? And then you got some people saying, like, are you crazy? Do you understand what the impact of that one stream of him playing with Drake had? Like, do you understand how much help he was able to get, from there and elevate to what he was already building even more to a much higher scale? And you got people going back and forth and stuff like that. Just something I wanted to just bring up and, know your guys' thoughts and opinions. Finally, to end the golden hour here. It might be golden 2 hours. I'm not sure. We've been rambling for a long time. First time we're bringing it back. Wanted to touch upon a few things. But right now we're going to get on to my final thoughts and opinions on what Madden 18 was to me and what my thoughts and opinions on the game as a whole was. Do I think it was a success? Do I think it was a flop? Coming up after these messages. So, I'm sure most of you guys are, know me from playing the game of Madden. And I've been playing Madden ever since I was a kid. It was a game that I've gotten to love. That was a big part of my childhood. It was a game to where I remember leaving school and coming home, playing with my friends, playing on the weekends, playing Madden, playing family and friends. And, like, Madden was a very serious game growing up. And it was a game that I've loved ever since, as a child. And it was, it's, fortunately for me, it's a game that changed my life, right? It's a game that I started uploading, I believe, back in 2011 or 2012. I'm not sure when I started. I think I started in Madden 11 or Madden 12, whichever Madden I started. And I'll never forget, me and my ex's brother, we were working at the same store, Walgreens. He was a manager and I was, a floor person. And, we, became very cool, which I, always get along with all my coworkers. Very goofy guy, and if somebody doesn't like me, it's because of them. I get along with everybody, especially fine, black, young, pretty, thick thigh things. But anyways, we started a community channel playing Call of Duty. We played Call of Duty a lot, and we figured out how to record, and we started doing that, not even knowing that there was like money involved, but just thought it was cool to start recording. So we started a community channel, and it ended up getting flagged down because I was trash talking a channel bigger than mine, which I shouldn't have done, a lot bigger than mine, and my channel was flagged down from his viewers, his fans, and stuff like that, and the channel ended up getting deleted. And at that point, he was like, man, you should just do your own channel. Because most people, like, we would take days, like we would alternate. I'll upload one day, he'll upload the next day, I'll upload one day. Most people just wanted to see me upload, right? Like they enjoyed my videos more than his. And he was just like, man, you should just pretty much just do it. Like, I don't even want to do it anymore. Like, most people want to, like, you're really good at it, man. You should just do it yourself. He's like, well, you should do Madden. And I'm like, hell no. Like, nobody watches Madden. At the time, the biggest streamer, or not streamer, excuse me, the biggest YouTuber at the time was Duke the Killer, and he had a little over 20,000 subs, I think. And at this time, there's Call of Duty people with hundreds of thousands and like 500,000. That just shows you, like, Woody's Gamertag got like 1 million subs, and the biggest Madden guy got 20. Like, that's nowhere near. Like, nobody watches it. Like, why am I going to go and try to be successful at a game that nobody watches? And he was like, you play it every day, which I did. I played Madden every single day. I was like, I'll give it a shot. So that's how I got my start into Madden. Now, Madden 18, when it first came out, the game was okay, right? It was good. I enjoyed it. It was fun until we found out how terrible the juking was, because at the very beginning, we didn't have anybody with high juking moves, right? So we didn't know that one juke would break 9 guys, and everybody was getting juked out from one spin move. It was, I'm gonna keep it real with you, Chief. This right here was one of the worst Maddens, gameplay wise, content wise, in the history of me ever playing the franchise. It was really, 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 really bad, in my opinion. Now, people have their own opinions. People have their favorite Maddens and what they like about this one. Might not agree with what it is I have to say about this game. Might not agree with my thoughts on the content, whatever. By no means am I right. By no means are you right. It's all opinions, The one thing, like, this just breaks down to me how Madden is. They did the rookie premieres, right, to end the pretty much the big bang of the year for Madden 17, for Madden 18, excuse me. Do you know how much it cost to make a rookie premier player? This is to me just how awful they have this game and how much you need to spend and how much resources you need in order to complete one of these stupid ass sets, because this game is horrible. They don't think about what they're doing, and they go on ahead and force you to spend money, which is stupid. So people were telling me about rookie premieres and like, oh, GS, you got so many power up players that you can just go on ahead and use those and do power and do the rookie premieres. So this is like the day after it dropped, right? Because I haven't been touching Madden at all. So I go on ahead and I take a look at the set, and I look, and I'm like, okay, you can put a 98 to 99 overall power up, and you can get 5 of the little premier tokens because you need 10 in order to get one. Now at this time, in order to get one 99 overall premier player, and then in return you get that premier card for the following year. I didn't do them last year, and I believe you can only choose one. At least that's how I think it works. I think you can only choose one, and like if you chose a bad rookie, then he didn't get many upgrades and you were stuck. But if you chose a good one, like let's say Lattimore or Wentz and cars that were upgraded throughout the year, you pretty much got that upgrade for free because that was your rookie premiere. If I'm wrong, I apologize, but I didn't do them last year, so I don't know how it worked. This year, though, there's 10, and you can do all 10. Now, you can't select which ones you got. Like, there's one quarterback, there's one running back, there's one left, outside linebacker. But, out of those 10 that they have available, you can actually do all 10. And, again, you need 10 tokens to get one of them done. And so I'm doing these power-up sets. I'm like, great, I'll be able to do these no problem, right? I did these stupid-ass power-ups throughout the whole year, so I'll easily be able to go on ahead and do these. So then I find out there's a limit. It's capped, right? So off of the power-ups, I'm able to do maybe 4 of them without doing anything. And then it's like, okay, what do I have to do the rest? To get a rookie premier badge, you need 92 overall rookie premier players, right? They have packs that only give you 1 per pack for 40,000 coins, which means you need 80,000 coins for 1 badge, which means you need 800,000 coins for 1 rookie premier player. Now, mind you, they are sellable at the end of the year. I mean, once you get them, they're 99. And not only that, they're the best players in the game, right? 99 Barkley, the rookie premier, is better than Bo Jackson. So you did all this throughout the year, spending money, getting all these players to then go on ahead and get Barkley for 100K. That's better than 800K Bo Jackson. Goes figure, right? But 1 rookie premier card is going to take you 800K, which means if you use packs only and you wanted to go on ahead and, well, just packs, I'm sure if you could go inside of the store, you can probably purchase the 2 players probably for cheaper. You probably get them for 20 to 30K a pop. But I'm just saying, for their metrics, their packs, 8 million coins would be needed in order for you to get 10 rookie premieres done. That's awful. That's disgusting. Stuff like that shouldn't happen. The best thing that they did that I seen when I was talking to somebody was the rookie premiere, the blockbuster, is because they had pretty much every single resource in the game available for you to go on ahead and get your blockbuster ticket. You can sit there and use base elites. You can use season tokens. You can use Madden coach squads tokens, excuse me. You could use all these other different resources to go on ahead and get these tickets. You can use Ultimate Legends. You can use draft players. You can use elite badges. You can use all these different resources to get tickets. And I looked and I was like, wow, this is how a set should be. You shouldn't limit me to just one way to get these things, right? Like when you come out and you do these Halloween players, There shouldn't only be one way for me to get the card, is I need specifically these Halloween tokens. And these Halloween tokens can only be found, these Halloween pumpkins can only be found in these Halloween packs. But if we can use base elites, elite badges, whatever, all these other resources to get, the cards that we want, that would be so much better for the community. Like, it would be amazing. Not only is it helping us clear our binder, but you go on ahead and you're able to get the card that you want in a completely different way on how somebody else might be able to get the card. And I love that. But then I've seen these rookie premieres like 8 million coins is needed to, get the packs in order to get this. That's crazy, man. The gameplay was terrible. They didn't fix juking until really late in the year. They came out with a chemistry for it first before they fixed juking itself. They knew juking was bad. They knew that, like, your user should never get juked out. Your user running towards somebody who's running the ball, I should not be able to go on ahead and get juked out by my. I'm not. How is he faking me out? It's me. I'm controlling him. The computer, I get it, but like, you shouldn't be able to fake me out. So instead of fixing it, what do? They come out with a chemistry that's named unfakeable. Chemistries are ruining the game, in my opinion. It is becoming less about skill and more, because I come from the era of Madden where it was all about skill, right? And a lot of people happen to think I'm very bad at Madden and I can only win with a top team, not knowing since Madden 12, 13, 25, every single of those years before I really got into MUT, I was a top 100 player in ranked every single year. Back when ranked actually meant something. Back when being in the top 100 in ranked meant you were actually good. Back when the leaderboard was a thing and you constantly checked the leaderboards and you knew who the top 100 players were and you knew who was good because it meant something. But now since MUT took over, I don't play regs anymore because it's just not as fun as Ultimate Team. But it's becoming less about skill and more about abilities. Like, I shouldn't need, like, secure tackle is broken and it needs to go, or it needs to be altered. There's no way. Like, right now on my team, I have literally 11 secure tacklers on defense. Every single person of my defense has secure tackler. Meaning, if I go on aggressive, it doesn't matter. I will never have a tackle broken. Well, no, excuse me. I have 9 because the 2 people I run at DE don't have secure tackle. I run Khalil Mack and I run Brian Arakpo at defensive end. So, 9 secure tacklers. But it's crazy that their tackle will never, ever, be broken, which is why everybody should put their tackling on aggressive. If you have a bunch of secure tacklers out there, you put your tackling on aggressive, and it gives you those big hit animations. They're not going to get broken. Why? Because they have secure tackler. As soon as they put their hands on them, it's guaranteed to be a tackle. Secure tackler should work like hot hands. It should be either it should work like hot hands or it should work, differently. Like with hot hands, it has to be used from the snap of the ball for an increased chance of you catching an interception. Imagine if secure tackler worked as in a way to where you have to control the player. Let's say not even from snap. Let's just say how it is with unfakeable now. How if you juke, you cannot juke a user now. You can't. You can juke the hell out of the CPU. If they don't have unfakeable, even if they have unfakeable, you can still juke them out. But if you're running at somebody and they click on in time before you juke, and you juke, it's just not going to work. That's how secure tackler should work. It should work where if you just want your defense to play for you and I'm running at somebody and I go to truck and your free safety Cam Chancellor has secure tackler and you do not click on him, I should have a decent chance to run his ass over. Not every time, of course not, but I should have a chance to run his ass over. Because you're sitting there just letting the computer have everything. You have to give power back to the user. If you're clicking on and they have secure tackler, that's fine. Okay, damn, he clicked on, he has secure tackler, I'm not going to be able to run him over. I get it. But wait a minute, he does have secure tackler, but he's not clicking on. And you can't run anybody over. It makes trucking guys useless. And now, like, juking was so bad that they nerfed it so much that now it's damn near impossible to juke anybody because all they got to do is just click on right before, which is, how it should be. But now it's like juking somebody is tough. You damn sure can't truck anybody because everybody has secure tackler. It's like the only way to run is just get the perfect blocking. That's it. Run a pitch to the outside, hope that the blocking holds up, and just hope that you get a clear runaway, because you're not going to run by anybody. You're not going to run through anybody. You're not going to run around anybody. It's crazy. This Madden was very bad. It's one of the worst ones. It is absolutely god-awful. The content was awful. If you just go back to your Madden 16 if you have it. Go to your Madden 17 and look at all of the filters you have for programs. There's 100 of them. This year, it's like 20 of them. It's bad. It's awful. It needs to change. Hopefully it does. Hopefully they get in the right direction. I think that the way they are putting out these cards little by little, so slow, it's ruining the game. I understand they want longevity. I understand that they want their customers to be able to want to spend money in the month of June. So they're going to go on ahead and put a Bo Jackson out in July, and you want a Bo Jackson. But imagine if Bo Jackson with 97 speed and 97 truck, not like it matters because secure tacklers everywhere, but imagine if that card came out in February. They need to understand that as a business, a lot of their business comes when the actual sport is in season. A lot of people love to play Madden when it's football season. Why? Because it's on your TV. It's in front of your face every single day. It's football season. You sit there, you look. It makes you want to play football. Let me hop on this John Madden. Once football season is over, it's a complete different drastic change to your mood to want to continue to play the game of Madden, because football season is over. It's no longer on your TV. Football is no longer a hype thing. There's no longer like a big majority want. Of course, some of us still want to play Madden, right? But it's just, at least for me, let me not say, but I would like to think that most people are how I am, that once football season ends, your motivation to want to play Madden just goes down, just for the fact that even if it's just a little, immediately football season's over, your want to play the game just goes down. Now, I understand they want to become an esport, right? They're trying to professionally, have a big esport out there. And, the last thing they want to do is have Joel out in a tournament with a 98 speed Michael Vick and somebody who's not very familiar with the game, just watching it on ESPN or watching it on Twitch and seeing him go absolutely crazy, flying up and down the field with a crazy speed quarterback or 97 speed Brian Urlacher, because that's just unrealistic and they don't want that, right? That doesn't appeal to the average viewer who's not too familiar with Madden. Like, what? That Michael Vick just completely outran like, he's so fast. Like, I understand he's fast, but I mean, he's really outrunning Dion and all these other people? That doesn't make any sense. They don't want that, right? They don't want 99 block sheds to be, shown at the tournament up and down the field, because it makes the game look broken, and they don't want that. It has been confirmed that it is that they don't want. We've talked to Rex and other game developers that said, yeah, they can't sit there and have things like that happen because it looks broken. But as a consumer, I like when football season is around and it's in, why can't we get good players? Why can't we get 98s and 97s and 98s around Super Bowl weekend? Like, not a 95. Like, we have to wait 4 months to get somebody with 95 speed. Why? That's crazy. I really think they just need to change how they do things, man. Like, a change like that would just do so much, man. Like, there's so much players out right now, but there's so few people playing the game to compare to when football was actually there. And some of you guys may agree, some of you guys may disagree, but I personally think that I'll just sit back and just look like, damn, can you imagine what it will be like to get, a 97 Barry Sanders, when the playoffs start? Football season is on your TV. You're sitting there, you're watching the playoffs, and then you go run butt naked Barry Sanders out there with 97 speed causing havoc, and you have all these great players. Man, it's different from like when I think there was like a 98 overall AP that was available at launch one Madden or something like that. Like, they need to bring things like that back, man. It's Ultimate Team for a reason. The teams are meant to be ultimate. You want these juice players running around the field, that are hopefully easily accessible. That's one thing I will give them, is that this year I know a lot of people that spent almost nothing or less than $100 and have a 98 overall team right now, to where I spent thousands and thousands of dollars. Like, yeah, my team is better, but if I had your 98 overall team, I would still be able to win most of my games compared to this team that I have, which is better, but costs so much money, where you didn't spend anything and your team is still really, really, really damn good. I think just the content wise was really, really, really bad. I think they need to change a lot of things. I think they're headed just in the wrong direction. More content creators are promoting coins. More people are disliking, the direction they're taking the game. It hurts. It hurts to sit back and think that this is my franchise, man. This is the game that changed my life. This is the game that I love. This is the game that I play each and every single day. Well, not now, because but this is the game for the most part I played, for a very, very, very long time. And it hurts me, man, to see it dwindle away slowly, man. Ah, man. But anyways, man, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Until next time, peace.